Despite appearing in only 7 episodes in the last 3 seasons of Star Trek The Next Generation, Michelle Forbes Ensign Ro-Laren made an impression that held through the decades, right up until her surprising appearance on the Titan in the Season 3 episode of Picard, Imposters. Commander Ro and her personal mission to discover exactly how far the Changeling conspiracy goes made big news when she walked onto the Titan, and Trek fans have celebrated her amazing, if brief, return. Michelle, too, was enthusiastic about taking up the role, returning to the Star Trek universe and seeing Sir Patrick Stewart once again. Hi and welcome back to Katie's Corner in Space and Volume 14 of the Star Trek Void, where I take a shot at keeping us updated in all, or at least a lot of things Trek, while we wait for new episodes. And this week, there were some terrific bits worth sharing. Let's start with some birthday celebrations, including our very own time-traveling reformed traitor turned captain played by the lovely Sonequa Martin Green. And how about the omnipotent one, John Delancey, who also had a birthday this past week. I must include the actor who played the one character I just think we have a great chance of bringing back from the dead, Connor Trinneer, and I'm just sure Fox kept something we could grow a new trip from, 'cause Trek.
I'm dead.
No, but people
Everyone
come back
says
from
you
the
can come
dead
back.
They do. It's sci-fi.
If they have a good doctor.
That's
Sometimes
right.
it depends. Although I killed a lot of my patients first season.
I'm going to make an appointment.
With Picard now past its halfway point, we are looking out for any news of which Trek is next and when it will premiere. But as of yet, it's all crickets. The going theory is Paramount Plus is trying to wait until the April 5th celebration of First Contact Day to announce the future dates new seasons will begin. Which is just rotten news because that thinking leads to several weeks with no new Trek, but hopefully not months. What we do know, until Paramount announces they've changed their minds, is we will be getting Strange New Worlds this year as well as Prodigy, and in fact Strange New Worlds filming for its 3rd season is about to begin. With luck, Lower Decks will also pop up in there somewhere in 2023 as well. However, pretty much any 2023 expectations should be taken with a grain of salt, as Paramount also previously announced Discovery Season 5 would be premiering in 2023, until they decided it wasn't. So until a solid date is announced for our shows, we just get to live in the void waiting for information. Yay. But as soon as those solid dates pop up, I'll share them here so we can all prepare. We love to debate. Trekkies, that is. We will debate everything from the origin of V'ger to the makeup and aesthetic changes to Trek's species and ships. We'll debate canon and timelines, actors and hair. Oh yes, we are a nitpicky bunch, but most passionate fans are. However, I think Trekkies take it to another level, and sometimes that includes the speech, as well as the reproductive organs of certain species in the Trek universe. One such example in recent years went from speculation to canon is the existence of the, well, not so much well-endowed Klingon, but the, YouTube, how do I put this politely?
Klingon anatomy: 23 ribs, 2 livers, 8-chambered heart, double-line neural pia mater. I've never seen so many unnecessary redundancies in one body.
Yeah, so this clip here inspired the consideration of exactly which organs, particularly for the males, had redundancies, and literally for decades became a much debated point in Klingon physiology. That debate ended with one scene in Discovery's Season 1 finale, answering one question with one simple answer. Yes, they have 2. Thus ending all arguments about Trek and SEX. Let us never argue again.
No, I don't need that image either. In fact, I'm going to stop asking that question altogether.
However, when it comes to touchy subjects, the more troublesome one has to do with language, not fornication. When Star Trek Picard's first season began streaming, many things about the series made me take a second look in those first few episodes. The captured cube, the updated technology, the new Starfleet uniforms. But what really shook me was hearing an admiral drop the F-bomb.
Sheer fucking hubris.
I mean, in what universe does a Starfleet admiral, an officer, a crewman, curse? Well, apparently in this Star Trek universe. And I have to say, out of all the updates people talk about in Trek over this last several years, that is the one that really took me aback. And I'm not the only one. This raw language is appearing more and more often in the script, but what may surprise you is it also simply comes out at the moment of filming as the actor is carried along with the scene. Such was the case as the F word came from our beloved Picard. Everything you do as artists, as writers and actors, even as editors, is authenticity. That's the thing you want to feel, Metalis told Collider. I was really torn because hearing that word come from your childhood hero, Captain Picard, it throws you. But wow, is it powerful. And while my brain is still trying to wrap around the idea of people curse in the future, I find the Picard story very compelling this season. Not just for the obvious reasons of a TNG reunion and a surprise child, but for the mysteries these new changelings bring, the fear of just how far their intrusion has gone, and their ultimate plan. And what it all has to do with Jack. Right about now lately, I seem to be throwing in interviews, and this week is no different. With the Shuttlepod show inviting Gates McFadden to join them, I just couldn't pass up the chance to hear from her. She of course discussed her time filming Picard and the difference between being involved with the production for TNG then and Picard now, as well as her space sons. She also talks about all of the get-togethers with all the Trek actors and the history that comes with having Terry Metalis, that kid who used to work under Brandon, running the show.
Is that
Totally.
Terry?
That's Terry.
Shut the front door. I knew I should have been nicer to him.
Gates goes into great detail as she tells us the long journey which led her into the Star Trek family.
Visibly, you're a teacher for quite a good while. And then Harvard, you've been some places, haven't you?
Well, yeah, please. No more than you, darling.
Harvard, too.
Though when it all began, she wasn't quite herself yet.
Well, I was still Cheryl, but
Oh, you were? That's right.
That's
Yeah,
right,
yes,
yeah.
You're a two-namer.
I'm a two-namer,
Yeah.
but it is my real name, Gates.
Yeah.
Her theatrical training and experience is varied, and with her time as a teacher and director, make her a force to be reckoned with. But with all of her time in the theater, she had very few experiences acting when suddenly, with only one pilot under her belt, she was asked to try out for TNG as a favor, just as she was trying to begin her acting career, and decided to try out for Beverly on the fly because her character seemed to have potential for humor. And which scene did she read for?
And the comic scene, I swear to you, I'm telling you the truth. The comic scene was Beverly Crusher. And I went, okay, this is like an improv. It's when
Right.
the virus makes her come on to Jean-Luc in season 1.
And of course they wanted her, but she turned it down twice because she had a nice theater career and teaching gig. Why chance it? After all, she's not watched Star Trek and really didn't have the confidence in acting yet. But as we know, she took the job eventually, and then the challenge became learning about life in front of a camera, including what a mark is.
What's that piece of tape on the floor?
She really doesn't understand what a mark is.
It took time for her to get comfortable as part of the television show, and they discussed her leaving and coming back, as well as her thoughts on some of the issues the show had regarding women.
And the only scenes pretty much that Troy and I ever had, and they didn't happen for a long time, many years, were when we were talking about men or exercising.
But one of the best parts of the interview is what she says about all of the iterations of Trek.
I'm glad to see DS9, Enterprise, Voyager,
you.
all of these new ones too. I feel they've each reached so many people who have gained a lot from watching them. So bravo.
So if you decided long ago you hate Discovery, but now you really want to see which scene proves that good old Klingon backup system is as extensive as we've heard, now's the time. And if you'd like to express your Trekkie love, please check out what's available in my shop, and also stay tuned to find out who wins some of these pieces by subscribing and coming back for the standout scenes and review of Picard's 6th episode for Season 3. And until then, enjoy one of these fine selections, and I'll see you there.